It has been raining all night long. It's somewhere around midnight now. Hey y'all, it is Sunday, Mother's Day, and I am packed up and on the move in Hot Springs, North Carolina. And my first destination at about 8 a.m. is the local bakery and cafe, where hopefully I can score a sweet roll or something of that nature. I know I shouldn't be eating that sort of stuff, but that was an interesting night at the Laughing Heart Hostel. Overall, a very positive experience, but very interesting too. There are some characters. Okay, so I'm going to get on up the road here, and I've got a steep stairwell to go down here, so you'll excuse me as I pay attention to that and try not to fall, break my head. Hey folks, well, the bakery I wanted to go to no longer exists, so Google Maps is out of date. So I went down to the Hillbilly Market, which is the only place open in town right now, and had a couple of biscuit and eggs and sausage and bacon. They were really good. And I was sitting outside back against the ice cooler, sitting on my butt, on the ground, I mean. And a guy named Robert Callahan, who lives in North Carolina, came up and sat down beside me, and we were chatting. And then another guy, another hiker, Mark, from up near Buffalo, New York, south of there somewhere, also came and sat. So we had a good little chat there going, and those guys are going to take a 0 day today, and maybe even tomorrow. So Hot Springs, North Carolina. My first impression was what a cool town, especially the diner here, the Smoky Mountain Diner is really top notch. But I don't know, in general it's a kind of a rundown town. And this is a famous hot springs resort and spa that I hear is a top-notch place to stay. You can get mineral baths and such, hot spring baths. And I didn't do that, of course. I stayed in the grungy hostel with people snoring all around me. I have an impressive view of the French Broad River, looking out over these sassafras trees. There's a stand of them right in this section. So It's interesting that they all clump together. And we get the mountains in the background over there. So my wife, Paula, has been sending me texts about a bear attack in Colorado. And just sent me a text saying that attacks are more frequent when hiking with dogs or when hiking alone. And as you can see, just like that, somebody appears. Go ahead.
Thanks, bud.
I was just blogging him.
Yeah, it's fun to do too.
Hey. So that's pretty funny. I was going to say I'm out here hiking alone, but obviously I have some company. Hey folks, man, I found the perfect place to rest. There's the that I'm sitting on, right next to this pond. Let's call it Walden's Pond. And here's the bench. So nothing special unless you're kind of tired and you want to just sit here and listen to the birds and watch the fish and the frogs. This is a Galax plant, and that is its bloom. Those are blackberries blooming. Hey friends, I don't know if you can hear me because of the wind, but on encouragement from Andy Goss, I took an excursion trail up to Rich Mountain Tower. So this is what I'm seeing. The camera. It's a really great view up here. Lord, please don't let me drop this. I'll just walk around. It's very windy. It's going to be raining here before too long. And the weather has started to turn on me. It's starting to rain, the wind's blowing hard. I'm trying to get to the shelter about 1.5 miles up the trail. Hopefully get there before the deluge. There's nothing like a long day of hiking and a nice shelter to stop at. Looks like it's gonna storm. The wind is really going. Hey y'all, this is what it sounds like to retire when it's raining outside. The hammock. And there's not a whole lot of wind, so all we hear is the pitter-patter of rain. It has been raining all night long. It's somewhere around midnight now. So just, I know it's going to stop. I checked the weather. I do have service here a little bit. But this is amazing. Oh my gosh, it rained all night long. So, and I think it's supposed to start again. The question is whether to break the hammock down and break the camp down and try to hike some early in the morning, or stay here until it's supposed to subside again.
Nuts.
So what's the deal with the mice in this shelter?
There's a ton of them. It's our first night too where we actually encountered them like that. We've seen them in the shelters before, but they were running up and down this piece right here, around the corners. They were all up on our packs at one point. The trekking poles. Yeah,
right on your head.
they crawled on her head at one point.
Oh, no.
They were
I caught
definitely
it
on that
between my head
pack.
and my hand. It was not a fun time.
I punched myself in the face at one point because I thought, I'm pretty sure it was just the drawstring to my quilt right here, but I felt it touch me and I went, I cranked myself pretty hard in the nose. Yeah,
Oh, man.
all of us had our headlamps on last night, and we
Yeah.
saw a ton of them though.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
they would run out underneath the bench right
And
there,
they come right back up here.
and then they'd run right back into this corner up the
Wow.
side. And
Where are they hiding now?
I guess they live in the roof or below the shelter,
There's
is
like
what I'm
holes up in
assuming.
the roof. Yeah.
Oh,
They've
boy.
been,
You could
about an
hear
hour
'em.
ago, you heard them all like scurry off.
Yeah, I
It
think they
sounded
went
like,
home, and you could hear them on the roof
Yeah.
when they were running. It sounded like that the whole night, yeah.
So you were like, oh no, prepare. They're coming for you.
So, do y'all have trail names?
I'm Papa Parmesan.
Okay.
And I'm lunch lady.
Lunch lady.
Lunch
Yeah.
lady, yeah.
Okay, thanks for telling that story. That's great. Hey friends, I am packed up and am leaving Spring Mountain Shelter. I'm headed north, that's all I know. There's a shelter in about 7.5 and another one about 16 miles from here. It would be nice to reach the 16 miler because, well, between here and 58 miles up ahead, which is Erwin, Tennessee, there are no opportunities to reprovision. So everybody's bags are heavy from packing in a lot of food. It was a very interesting night, a ton of rain. It rained just all night long until the early hours of the morning. I would say 4 o'clock. It might have subsided. Amazingly, I stayed dry. No bear sightings, even though there were gut hook comments about bears being seen around the shelter. So that raises, you know, concerns, fears a little bit, especially with what happened in Colorado a week or so ago. The fatal bear attack out there. So onward I go, fearless, bring on the rain. Hey guys, haven't talked much about people as I progress along the trail, but today I wanted to call attention to a couple of people who have either died or are going through some health issues. Condolences to the family of Mark Austin, whom we worked with at Hewlett Packard going back a decade or so. He passed away on May 3rd, if I'm not mistaken, from various health complications. Today, my friend Wes Barnes is having heart surgery. I think it is a quintuple bypass procedure. So I'm saying a prayer for Wes, and I'm also saying a prayer for friends who have ongoing health issues, like Tony Mount and David Jinks, Mike Rich, and I'm sure there are others that'll come to mind as soon as I turn this off. But wow, yeah, just life is short. You only live once, so grab it by the tail and squeeze for all it's worth.
When we were younger, we used to sit on the grass among the flowers. We just let the days pass by. People would tell us to get a grip of ourselves and get a job. We didn't care what we were told.
Hey, I've made it to the road crossing, Highway 208, that goes north into Greenville, North Carolina. Almost 5 miles to go to get to a shelter that I would like to stop at and get some lunch. Peanut butter and tortilla is what's for lunch here, and maybe some mixed nuts. Well, I'm going uphill and talking at the same time. That's not necessarily a good combination. As you can see, I have my little umbrella deployed. After leaving a wonderful Trail Magic couple, Mickey and Minnie, originally from the Orlando area. They now live close to Chattanooga, and they thru hiked the trail southbound a few years ago, and so I guess they're vacationing in the area and decided to put a little Trail Magic spread. That was really nice, and they have some chairs, and we just sat in a circle talking about the trail and some of their stories, our stories. It was so nice. Very enjoyable time there, and it started raining on us, and we got the umbrellas out. Elizabeth from New York showed up and joined the little circle. It is so much fun out here. I just can't tell you how much fun it is. Okay, back to hiking and trying to keep this umbrella attached to the pack.
When we were younger, we used to sit on the grass and go, damn, I don't wanna grow old. I wish I could turn back time. Stay up all night singing songs on the terrace. We didn't mind sitting out in the cold. It was impossible to make us embarrassed. We were free. Do you remember stealing smokes from your parents? Sometimes we got a bit out of control. When they found out we ran from home just to scare them, we were free.
Well, I'm going to continue on past Laurel Shelter, Little Laurel Shelter, and head on up 7.4 miles to Jerry's Cabin Shelter. And it's still damp, foggy, cool, which is nice. Occasionally the wind blows and knocks all the water off the trees, so it feels like it's raining. We've been going over some rugged terrain. It's very much like New Hampshire or Maine. Lots of rocks, and it's kind of difficult footing in a lot of places. It's like a knife edge ridge, not quite as sharp as the one at Katahdin, but it's plenty difficult to tiptoe around all these rocks. So that's where I'm at, and I will check back with you as soon as I get a camp spot. Hey folks, I did continue on to the shelter I was trying to get to. It's about 7:30, 7:45. It's foggy as all get out. Can you believe that? It's a cool shelter from the with the rock work and everything. It does have a picnic table that you can see there, and I need to find a place to hang my hammock. So I'm gonna call it a day. I'm gonna crawl into my hammock and maybe eat a bite of tortilla and some pepperoni, and that's gonna be it. It is still dark out before 6 in the morning, and this little guy just started chirping. Along with the frogs. Hello friends, it is Tuesday, May 11th, 8:20 in the morning, and like many others in this campground, I have packed up and I am clearing out. The weather is damp, the fog has lifted, so I can actually see the forest around me, and it was a pretty cool shelter up there. So yeah, we can see the forest today. Yesterday was just foggy as all get out. So the plan is to go as far as I can, as it is most other days. There's a shelter at about mile seven or 8 from here, and there's another one, another 8 miles, so 16 or 17 mile total to get to that second shelter. A third option is to go a couple of miles further to reach a road crossing and spend a night in a hostel that's a couple miles from the road crossing, and you can call them for a shuttle, assuming they have vacancy. So that is my flexible plan. We shall see how everything unfolds. I'm really hoping for an easier day today. Yesterday was insanely dangerous going over the ridge. It was a knife edge, and there were some shelves you had to climb down. One in particular, I had to remove my pack. I threw my poles down, hoping they wouldn't ricochet and fall off the mountain. Just came down this series of steps after foregoing big butt bypass, and there's some big steps that are really tough on the knees. You have to be very careful. It feels like gravity feels like it's twice its normal force, and it looks like it just gets better and better up ahead. It's easier going uphill, to be honest with you. Downhill is kind of scary when there are big steps involved and a big pack on your back. I'm sure I've still got 40 pounds at least on my back. Well, there's all this yucky mud. You can try to go around it, but ultimately you just trudge right through it. Hey folks, I've arrived at Flint Mountain Shelter, which you see behind me. It has a picnic table, which I am now going to use to prepare my lunch, which will consist of peanut butter on tortilla bread. So the next shelter up from here is 8.7 miles. It's kind of a chore there. And if I go 2 more miles, so almost 10 miles, well, over 10 miles, I can stay at a hostel. So that remains to be determined.
Killing time, Friday night. Found a photograph of us, without cares and worn out clothes. Doesn't seem just sitting here bored at home. And it really got me thinking of the times we took off on the road. I can't remember where we headed that night. We were cruising around town in Memphis, running the lights. I just know how it felt at home. Forget that windows down and open top. But we were clever not to take it too far, though it's hard not getting tempted, calling you up to see how you've been. 'Cause don't I miss you and all those things we did back then.
We are next door to the Laurel Hostel, and these guys are cracking me up. It must be time to get up. The roosters are crowing. Hey folks, we're here at the Laurel Hostel, which is kind of out in the middle of chicken country. You can hear roosters up there in the next door to us, and it's kind of a primitive hostel. We've got a basin outdoors. There is a shower indoors, and we've got bunks. No indoor plumbing other than the shower. So out back is a really cool outhouse, and you notice that it's raining. And I'm here with some really cool guys, my youthful friends. And I don't know if they want to come on or not. Hey, what's your name?
I'm Bitcoin.
Bitcoin.
Named by you.
Okay. You're Bitcoin too, because there's another Bitcoin out here.
I'm Bitcoin too.
Hi.
I'm Icicle. Got my name because I was freezing up in the Smokies, and somebody asked if I had a trail name yet, and that's how it happened.
All right. And you guys are from Indiana.
Yeah, Hoosiers.
Hannah. I don't have a trail name, but it's Hannah.
Oh, we're going to have to name you.
Name's Ben. Trail name's No Worries.
No worries.
Yep.
And your name again?
Ben.
Ben. Okay. I thought you said Zen.
No.
And I was going to say Zen's already taken. Thanks for coming on, guys. Just a brief video of me leaving Laurel Hostel, and I am heading out with my poncho covering the pack and everything else, and we shall see how this goes. It's supposed to rain pretty much all day long, but especially in the morning, and so it's kind of a new experience. The trail's going to be a mushy mess, and I think I go up this way, turn up this road. We got some nice wildflowers and a stream running through. So that was kind of a fun experience. I kind of stuck out like a sore thumb, not being a drinker, smoker, toker, and whatnot. It just occurred to me while walking that people asked me, where did you buy this poncho? And I said, well, actually a friend of mine made it for me. And so this is a plug for Keri Quinn, who made not only this poncho, but some other equipment like a water holder and I forget what else. He was very helpful in getting me outfitted for this adventure. So a shout out to Keri that, hey, I'm using the poncho for the first time. Notice that I look like the Hunchback of Notre Dame. It covers the pack, so hopefully everything will stay dry in the pack, unlike some previous days. So Keri, thanks again. I appreciate all your support. has gotten windy up on this ridge. It's just nothing but fog out there. You can barely make out some trees. It's kind of a cool sight, but yeah, you can see how the wind is blowing. The new growth of the forest really catches your eye. Very pretty. Well, onward we go. Should be getting close to a shelter, which would be about 6 miles from where I started. I climbed a really big hill back there. I don't know how many thousands of feet ascension, but it was significant. But the conditions being wet and pretty cold, I really didn't mind too much the climb. It's the downhills that are really treacherous, because you have to worry about slipping, and my feet did start to slip a couple of times, and I caught myself. So onward we go. I'm gonna get to that shelter and make something hot, maybe some ramen or even just some plain hot coffee. That's Hogback Shelter up ahead. It's almost a quarter of a mile off the trail on a blue blaze, but I am so cold, my hands are cold, freezing. So I'm going to try to warm up here and then try to rustle up a hostel reservation. What are the chances I'm alone here? It is karaoke time. At the Hog Pen Shelter. There we go. Look at those moves. All right, what's your name?
Eve.
Eve?
Mm-hmm.
E-V-E?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, that's her proname.
All right. Well, I'm Dead Horse.
This is my son podcast.
Oh, hi. Awesome. I haven't met a mother-son pair out here. Well, this is home for the night. We have a little cabin that I'm sharing with Steady Eddie from, where did he say he's from? Illinois. So this is our backyard. We've got a nice whitewater stream with some waterfalls right there. We have a little cabin next door, so they're put together pretty closely. Each cabin looks like it has a screened-in porch. There's a hammock. That is the bathhouse. The owner of Nature's Inn Hostel and Cabins is a biker. So he caters to both hikers and bikers. And this is the little cafe. And hey, and there is Amy. Hi folks, just to give you a quick update of my progress, I'm at mile 319 on the Appalachian Trail. That's Sam's Gap. Last night stayed at Nature's Inn Hostel. That's a video. That's not what I want. So this is kind of a cool rock formation going up these steps. I'm kind of out of breath, but big, looks like a big granite rock that's all split up a little bit. Hey friends, this is where we have stopped for the day after hiking 13.4 miles from Sam's Gap almost to the next road crossing. I think it's Spivey Gap, I could be mistaken. You can see that where I've set up my hammock, and I hiked with Steady Eddie, and he's camping next to me over there. So that's it for today, and I hope you have a pleasant evening. Hello folks, it is Friday, May 14th, and I'm back on the trail heading toward Erwin, Tennessee. That is Erwin, Tennessee, off in the distance. I love looking at towns from an aerial view from the trail. It's pretty cool.